Sow the wind, reap a whirlwind. I have a very different view of what's going on in Ukraine right now. My name is Jacob Persley. I lived in Turkey 15 years. I've been in Armenia now for the last 5 years. And in September of 27th of 2020, Azerbaijan, backed by Turkey, backed by also Islamic terrorists that they shipped in from Syria, attacked the Republic of Artsakh, Armenian ethnic people living there, so that they could take over that land. And they also attacked Armenia, and they even shot drones over Yerevan, the capital where I lived, and we could hear the explosions. The Azerbaijanis and the Turks, with the Islamic terrorists that fought against Artsakh and Armenia, they bombed the capital city of Stepanakert. Guys, Armenia is the very first Christian nation ever. They declared themselves a Christian nation in 301 AD, and they have kept the faith since that time. It's a very small country. The reason people don't know about it, and the reason it wasn't in the news back 2 years ago, was because there's not these oil resources here, and it's a smaller country in Armenia. So they were bombing the capital, bombing the hospital, bombing the school. The only correspondent that I know that was there as an American was Chuck Holton. He's actually in Ukraine right now. And what I wanted to say was this. Ukraine, during when these huge countries, Azerbaijan of 10, 15 million people, and Turkey of 83 million people, were attacking a tiny piece of land that they said were theirs. They said, there are our sovereign nations, is what Azerbaijan said. When that was happening, and they were bombing and killing civilians, beheading grandmothers in their villages, they were using white phosphorus bombs against soldiers and civilians. When Azerbaijan and Turkey and Islamic terrorists were doing this, Ukraine was supporting Azerbaijan and Turkey. Ukraine has given military weapons to Azerbaijan. They've done trade. They do about $1.5 billion worth of trade every year. And in fact, in Ukraine, the government supported the Azerbaijan and Turkey. They have some strange bedfellows. You know, it's interesting. Even in Turkish, they have a saying. It says, "Körle yatan şaşı kalkar." It means the one that sleeps with the blind wakes up cross-eyed. Meaning, if you're in with the wrong people, you're going to turn out and have some problems. And that's why I started this saying, sow the wind, reap a whirlwind. That's actually from Hosea chapter, in the Bible, Hosea chapter 8, verse 7. What I'm saying is this, is not that I think war is great. I think death is wrong. All of these things that are going on, you know, Putin aggressing and all of these things, I'm not saying that that's great or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's a lot more complicated than the Christian news in the United States is saying. And it's just interesting that, you know, if you were in Ukraine when Azerbaijan and Turkey were attacking just a few 100,000 people, bombing their towns, and they supported it. They had billboards all over Ukraine. This is from the government. I'm talking about the people. I'm not talking about the missionaries in Ukraine. I'm not talking about the evangelical Protestant churches in Ukraine and their position. I'm talking about the country as the whole, the leadership. They said, just as Crimea is Ukraine's, or the Donbass region is Ukraine's, Karabakh or Artsakh is Azerbaijan. I have some pictures here I can put up and you can see that. And they were completely supporting the Muslim side, the wrong side. And their logic and the reason was, well, you know, the historic lands for Azerbaijan is Karabakh. So we're going to support that they can get their land back. Well, it's just ironic how now Russia says these are our historic lands. And it's actually interesting that in those regions of Crimea that was taken over in 2014 and the eastern regions of Ukraine, they're predominantly Russian people living there. They're not Ukrainian. And so the Russians are saying these are our lands. So by the same logic, those regions should be Russia's, right? Ukraine, government. I'm not talking about the Christians. I'm not talking about the people. And I'm not saying that this war is justified or good. I'm just saying that sow the wind, reap a whirlwind. So if you're a Christian and you're a missionary and you are loving Jesus, you need to rethink about what your government's bedfellows are, the people that they're aligning themselves with. They're aligning themselves with Turkey and Ukraine because of trade, weapons, oil, you name it. But it's not a good position to be in, because Turkey and Azerbaijan and the Turkic world ambition is to take over the world for Islam, guys. This is what this is about. You will see it someday, and you will see it. That's their plan. That's their goal. Well, anyway, just a little commentary from me, from my perspective. And I got some news articles that talk that Zelensky and Ilham Aliyev, they talk to each other. They're partners for this war. Even Azerbaijan now is partnering and supporting Ukraine. Signing off. And yes, we should be praying. We got great churches in Russia. We got great churches in Ukraine. And we need God to bring peace and protect these, and that God's kingdom will go forth. That is the most important thing. However, from the government perspective, Ukraine has been on the wrong side.